and welcome to a brief tutorial on Robocraft. This is a game that I've only recently seen on Steam, and I just decided to download it and play it, and I thought it was pretty fucking fun. It's like some fucked up version of Minecraft meets Twisted Metal. It's like Minecraft and Unreal 2003 had a baby, and then that baby had a baby with Armored Core, and then that baby, which is the baby of the hybrid baby in Armored Core, had a baby with fucking Twisted Metal, and then they threw it onto Mars, and it's fucking so great. All the basics of the game, all the absolute basics that you absolutely need to know to play this game will be covered in the next bit here, and I highly recommend it. I played one match and hated it. I played my second match and fell in love with the game. So give it a chance. Just because you don't like the first game you play doesn't mean you can't absolutely fall in love with this game. I promise. Alright, so this is the basic build garage, and there we go. This is the basic build garage. It is 49 cubes wide, 49 cubes deep, and 49 cubes tall. So you can make a fucking enormous robot. I mean, the kind of enormous that people look at you funny for. The basic controls in this screen are Q opens your inventory, C opens the cube depot, which is the store, T opens your tech tree, which is basic talent points, E takes you to this screen, which is the battle screen, G takes you to your other garage bays, other robots that you have built, L is your social menu, friends, platoon, whatnot, and O is the pay-to-win store. No, I'm just kidding. It's not pay to win. It's freemium at best. And that's pretty much the interface at this menu. There's not a whole lot else. If you look at the very bottom of the screen, there are tier 1 through TX, which is the tier guide system for what tier your robot's in. The better gear you have on your robot, the higher tier you're in. The higher tier you're in, the better your opponents are going to be, and there's different game modes that only apply to certain tiers. In the top left is your level. Your level is not dependent on anything. The higher level you are, the more petaflops your robot has, which means you can stick more gear on it and better gear on it, because the higher you get in terms of tiers of weaponry and armor and shielding means that each individual piece takes up more petaflops. So if at level 1 you can't have fucking 70 guns on your thing with 30 pieces of shielding because you don't have the processing power to put it on there. The maximum level is 100, and it has taken me only 4 days to get to level 30, but I hear there's about 350 hours of playtime before you hit level 100, so that is quite a crawl to the top. In the top right-hand corner, there is the blue, yellow, and green currencies. The blue currency is the stuff you fork out the dough for. The green stuff is GP, it's the in-game currency, and the yellow is your talent points for that tier. Now, what that means is when you go to the tech tree, you start at the center bubble that clearly says start, and you can unlock with the tier 1 talent points Armored Cube, Wheel T2, Thruster T1, Enemy Radar, and Front Mounted SMG. Only tier 1 points can unlock these. Once you get to a tier 2 vehicle, which can be any combination of whatever, you will need tier 2 points to unlock the Wheel T3, the Wheel Steering T3, the Hoverblade. So you can only unlock very few things with the tier 1 talent points. And then as your robot gets better with the gear that you unlock and purchase, you start to like gradually move up in tiers. And when your robot is in a tier 2 battle and you kill someone or what the fuck ever, you get the tier 2 points. And then with the tier 2 stuff, you move into tier 3 and get tier 3 points, and you keep gradually moving up and up. As far as actually building the thing, it's pretty basic. If you've ever played or even seen Minecraft, it's simple. It's click and point. Okay, so now you go to your Cube Depot. The chassis section is all of the armor pieces and glass cubes, as well as armored helium cubes, which float. And the movement is literally anything that moves. Pretty simple. Hardware is where all of the guns and shielding you buy go. Special is your pilot seats, radar jammers, anything that doesn't fit in any other category, basically. And then there's the cosmetic tab, which you can buy all kinds of flags. You can buy the Overwolf head, or the pieces to the Overwolf head. You can buy the super amazingly goddamn expensive dev supporter flag, which is 10,000 GC. And then you can also buy the gold dev supporter flag, which is an absurd expense. Although it does support the game, this is still open alpha, so keep those in mind. They've also got vapor trails and nameplates and all that other cool shit. Actually building it's pretty simple. You go to chassis, you lay out, however wide and long you want your vehicle to be. You go back to your inventory, you movement, put your steering wheel on wherever you need it to be. These movement objects, aside from anything that flies, can only be pointed forward. So you have to put them on a side surface. You can't put a wheel on top or behind, although that would be pretty fucking cool. Cough, cough. The drive wheels, it's important to note, the drive wheels still move you. The steering wheels still move you forward. They drive and steer, but the drive wheels only drive, they don't steer. That's super crucial to note, because sometimes it's just better to have all your wheels steering. Redundancy is a huge issue in this game that is not addressed by many people. You need to have, if you get blown up and your thing is split into two pieces, one half of your robot needs to be at least able to move by itself and function by itself. So let's see. Now, the end of the build, or the beginning, or wherever you feel comfortable putting it, you need to place the seat on the vehicle. That is the only way that it is a viable vehicle, is you have to have the seat. And the only way that your robot is considered completely destroyed is when your seat is separated from it completely. Which means that if you are in a match and all that is left of your robot is this, just one cube connected to a seat, you have not been destroyed. You have to completely destroy the driver's seat for your robot to be destroyed. So that's really funny. I mean, I've literally been a block and a seat, and people have not been able to kill me because they can't aim. So for now, that's pretty much the super basic building. The armor plates are a little bit more tricky to work with. There is the tank tracks. The tank tracks are an excellent way to get around, but there is that. Now, as far as the actual in-game controls, it's so fucking simple. I can't believe people have trouble with it. W is forward, A is to the left, D is to the right, and S is backwards. Your guns that are placed on your vehicle, follow the cursor, not otherwise. It's something a little bit different to get used to if you've ever played any kind of, let's say, just Battlefield. Any Battlefield game, it's the same premise as the tanks or anything with a mounted gun on it. Donuts. Donuts. And then it is left click to shoot and right click to zoom in. All of the guns have a zoom on them, which it magnifies a little bit on the rail guns. It magnifies just a tiny bit more because it's kind of like the sniper class. Let me see, what else is there? Marking. You have to mark people. Q is to mark. When you see an enemy, you put your reticle over them and hit Q, and it will mark them the same as it does in Battlefield. It will show your entire team where that single enemy is, and it's on a 5-second cooldown. That is absolutely fucking critical to do. It is a must. As soon as you see someone, even before you start shooting them, hit Q. It lets your team know there's an enemy there. And suffice it to say, teamwork is not exactly everyone's forte in this. So you kind of have to take initiative and build really big, strong machines to carry really fucking hard. Now, a lot of people struggle with keeping their vehicle upright, especially when going up a steep incline, just like that. My vehicle is built exactly to handle that. But most people don't. They use a slim base for their vehicle. It's either really, really skinny or really, really wide, but not deep. So their car flips over. Well, when your car flips over, that's a fucking problem if you don't have some way to get it back over. If you don't have a way to get it back over, hit F. F completely, it lifts your vehicle off the ground and reorients it, and while you're floating in the air, you have some mobility. You can turn your vehicle, you can move it forward and backward, only to a certain degree, but it makes your vehicle upright again, so that, you know, I don't have that problem. You are still vulnerable to attack when you are reorienting yourself, so it's something that you really want to try and avoid to the best of your ability. I've gotten so many cheap free kills because they flip upside down and reorient, and I swing around the corner, and that's that. Alright, so this guy still has his seat connected, but he is a shell. Very fast shell, but he's a shell. A husk of his former self. Let's see. SMGs. What I have currently mounted on this thing are SMGs. That is the basic weapon. Everyone starts their the basic vehicle that you start with is an SMG-based tank. It uses wheels, not tracks, because tracks are a later unlock. But the SMGs, it is so fucking critical to note, are perfectly accurate when tap fired. I have sniped people across the map with SMGs relentlessly, and they do take a damage decrease over distance, but the damage drop-off's not bad. It's just not, it's not max damage. It is also critical to note that if you have one SMG, the fire rate fucking sucks. The more SMGs you put on your tank, the better the fire rate gets, which means the faster you fire, the more you have. Up to 6 SMGs. Past 6, the fire rate does not increase. But redundancy, that's why I have 7 on here. If I lose 1, then I still have 6. The railguns are a little bit different. They function similarly to a sniper rifle in any other game. They have actual ammunition. You can't just, hold down and pray. Although that is possibly my favorite thing to do. So let's see. Oh, look at that. I can only mount 3 on here. Oops. But that's good. The railguns function a lot differently from the SMGs. And mind you, the railguns are a very late unlock. You need tier 3 or... No, you need tier 4 points to unlock the railguns. Now, if you'll notice, on the left of the crosshair, there is a reload bar. When that gets to max, all of your railguns are reloaded in sequence. They're not all reloaded at the same time. The right side of the reticle, there are 3 little bubbles. You get 1 bubble per railgun and 1 shot per railgun per reload. So, I only have 3 shots, and then I'm out. But those 3 shots typically fucking wreck face, realistically. They penetrate armor really effectively, so if you can kind of guess where the driver's seat is and put a, mind you, perfectly accurate as long as you're still shot towards where their driver's seat might be. I've put a hole all the way through someone's vehicle without hitting the driver's seat. Completely through. They just had a giant hole right through the middle of it. There we go. The plasma cannons work similar to like a grenade launcher. They actually have an arc to their trajectory. They actually have a trajectory. The plasma cannon... Do I have one to show you? No. Oops. Just 1 second. Really? Anyway, the plasma cannons have an arc to them, and the reticle for them has the height gauge on it. So they're very powerful. They hit like a fucking truck. You can have as many of them mounted on your vehicle as you want, and they all fire simultaneously, but very slowly. So you can have 30 plasma launchers on your thing, and you fire 30 plasma rounds all at the same time, and they all have an explosion of the area hit. But really, what? It's not even on here. That's so fucking crazy. Oh, look at that. Okay, so in the middle of a video, it decides to be stupid. It's not often stupid, but when it is, it can be frustrating. Um, and then the load screen takes forever. I'm not even going to bother to cut this out, honestly. Um, it's worth the wait for the knowledge, I think. I had to figure all this shit out on my own. No one fucking told me. There's a frustrating, very frustrating crawl from tier 1 to tier 4, not knowing what you're fucking doing. So it was very worth it to find all this shit out, however slowly. Okay, back to the plasma cannons. The plasma cannons this bad boy. Boop. Okay. There we go. Now, as you see, when you zoom in with it, nothing really changes. It's the same with the railguns. When you zoom in with the railgun, the reticle doesn't change from the center of the screen, and the same with the SMGs. But what is so super awesome about the plasma cannon is you can actually hit people from behind shit, because there is this slight arc to it. Just like that. They only have a little bit sticking out, and it does have an explosive aspect to it. When it hits the ground, there is a slight explosion, so you don't actually have to exactly hit them, and the explosive damage stacks. So the more plasma rounds you put in the exact, or basically the more guns you have in the direction that you fire, the bigger the boom and the more the damage. So these things can be pretty fucking devastating when used in quantity and correctly. And they do have a very limited fire rate, although it's not terrible. The fire rate on them is pretty good, although I do believe the fire rate goes down per plasma cannon. Only slightly per plasma cannon, but it still goes down. They're kind of hard to use in close quarters. There we go. The only other gun that there is aside from those three is the Nano Disruptor. And the Nano Disruptor is a healing gun as well as a damaging gun. If you aim it at an ally, or if you're near an ally and start to fire, it will literally just put blocks back on that have been blown off. And if you're near an enemy, it fucking shreds them. They're so goddamn good. The armored helium is floating blocks. All of the armor plating is really necessary, especially once you get into the higher tiers, because the armor plating, it only covers so much, but it has armor in addition to shield. And let's just take an example. The mega plate, the highest end mega plate that you can get, has 5,000 armor plus 53,000 shield, and the heaviest hitting railgun, which is the highest damage in the game minus the melee weapon, is what, 27,000? So one of these plates can eat 2 railgun shells before just that plate gets destroyed, as opposed to the best armor cube in the game only having 1,300 armor. So you would need 27 of those armor cubes to eat 1 rail shell. So the shielding is a very, very necessary thing to have, especially in the later tiers, because it absorbs so much more damage than any of the armor blocks do. The radar isn't a super necessary thing. It's helpful, but it's not. As long as you mark the enemies for your team, you're fine. The radar jammer is kind of helpful, though, because if any enemy does have radar, not being seen is a fucking awesome thing to have. The melee weapons, you just slap them on the front of your vehicle and ram people, and it does more damage than the biggest railgun does. So that's pretty powerful. I haven't unlocked them yet, so I can't go into any further detail. There are the walker legs, as you saw while I was playing around with the railguns and stuff. There are helicopter blades. There are aerofoils, which are plane wings. There are rudders, which is a plane rudder. Tank tracks. The hover blades. I really don't like the hover blades. They're fucking poo. And then the thrusters. They're just directional. And then there's skis. You have to have another mode of transport, or another mode of thrust for the skis. There's no actual propulsion in them. And let's see. As far as the garage goes, to name your robot, this little section over here if I could type. After you name your robot, you must hit enter on that, otherwise it will not rename it, and then you'll hit load robot and nothing will happen, and you'll wonder why. You have to hit enter. It was so frustrating for me to not be able to name my goddamn robot. Ugh. Is there anything else that I'm missing? The glass cubes are worthless. They have no armor value. Well, no, they have some armor value. But they are just cosmetic. Past the light chassis cube and the heavy chassis cube, they are worthless. Completely and utterly. Please don't put a windshield around your guy. It's not important. Let's see. I think that's pretty much all, like, the absolute basics. I'm pretty sure. Anywho, if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments. The comments, please. Feel free to follow me on Twitch and subscribe if necessary, if you feel so inclined. And thank you for watching the tutorial.